we're back with another episode of Living in Granbury and Beyond, continuing our series, Getting to Know Granbury, where we're going to go around the city, introduce you to businesses, business owners, so that you can have a feel for some things that you would like to do when you visit the city of Granbury. If this is your first time to the channel, be sure to press that subscribe button and push the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about any updates or recommendations here in the Granbury market. As always, we get calls, texts, and emails from people that are maybe thinking about retiring in Granbury. Maybe it's a year out, maybe it's 2 years out. They're visiting, they want to have some ideas and things to do on the itinerary so they can come around and kind of enjoy the Granbury space, see if it's the right fit for them. Feel free to reach out to us. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love the chance to connect with you and help you in any way that we can. We are in the process now of interviewing different business owners around town, highlighting some things that maybe you wouldn't know about if you were visiting for the first time. And with this, we hope to give you a richer experience of your visit with Granbury so that you can get a better feel for whether it's the sort of place that you would like to live. Granbury is a fantastic spot with lots of little hidden gems found around the city. We hope to uncover those for you now, and it's going to be awesome. We're going to go visit a few places over the next few months, and I hope that you enjoy it. So today's episode, we are specifically going to go visit a restaurant called Anise. Chef Megan is who we're going to interview at the store today. So we're going to meet her at her restaurant, and we're going to do an interview there on site with her where you're going to get to know her a little bit better. We're also going to share the website with you so that you can see it. It's a place that not a lot of folks in town know is back there. So it's one of the best kept secrets in Granbury, and it has some fantastic options for food. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to go ahead and jump into a few things. So let's start with a map view. So we are obviously in Granbury, Texas. This is going to be southwest from Fort Worth, if you don't already know that. And it is going to be basically center city. It is going to be right off of Highway 377 going down this road right here. So you take a right and you will go down, and then the restaurant will be right here on the left. So if we were to back out a little bit, you can see that we have, there's a little strip mall just across over here, luxury nail bar. We have, if you go down 377 a little bit, the Chick-fil-A, Lowe's Home Improvement. If you remember the video I did of Water's Edge is right here. So you're basically right inside of town here. If you wanted to go, say, to the square, you would go down this road here. Or if you're coming from the square, say you are staying at the Hilton, you're going to be somewhere around here, and you would just take this road and you would just cut across here. So it's right here in town, so very quick access. We have some drone footage. We're going to show the restaurant so you can see it. Plenty of parking, so the way it's set up is quite nice, easy to visit. We have the menu online here, so if you want to look at this, restaurantanise.com/menus. You can see what's on the menu. Now, the menu does change every quarter, so it has a quarterly update on the menu. And yeah, so it's something that if you wanted to check out, it's certainly worth looking at. All right, so we are going to go jump into an interview with Megan. And just as a snapshot during the video, basically Megan opened this restaurant in 2020. And so she has been here for about 4 years. She has a really cool story. Hope you enjoyed the interview. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We love supporting businesses here in Granbury, and we love bringing some of these businesses to you. We hope that when you're in town, you'll stop by and give Anise a chance, and we think you'll really enjoy it. All right, let's jump into it. So you got into becoming a chef. What's the source of your culinary interest? Like, how did you get into cooking in general?
Sure. So I was raised right outside of Paris, France, and my dad worked at a high-end restaurant when I was a kid and learned a lot and kind of shared all of his knowledge with me. We used to play a game when I was a kid that if he was making, say, marinara, he would put oregano in without showing me and then have me taste it and ask, well, what did I put in there? And so a flavor game of sorts is developed when I was a kid, and I've always wanted to cook since then.
Wow. I would have a hard time identifying foods. Like, I can taste it, but being able to identify ingredients.
Yeah.
My wife and my daughter are much better at that. They enjoy cooking a lot as well. So did you, from there, you you're in France. Now you're in Granbury. Is there a...
So I was very fortunate in my upbringing that my mom's job had us travel quite a bit. And so we were in France for 6 years and then Barcelona, Spain for 2 years. And then we came to Arlington, Texas when I was in 7th grade. So Arlington was not what it is today. So there was a little bit of culture shock in the culinary scene at least. But I'm excited to, in the last decade, have been a part of the culinary movement that's come to the United States and being able to share my experiences and knowledge with our guests on the dinner table.
Awesome. So you came to Granbury 4 years ago. You opened during COVID. You had to go through a few hoops to get started a little late. Things are open now. You've been here for 4 years. I'm sure your clientele is growing. What are some of the dishes or things that people specifically come here for? So, every restaurant has their own little niche.
Right.
What are some of the things that your customers keep coming back to?
So there's not a specific dish because our menu actually changes quarterly. Our menu is a very seasonal menu. They come back for the quality and the flavors because just like I teach my staff, I believe that guests can taste the love you put in your food. And so there's lots of flavors, lots of fusion because I've traveled a lot. And so there's never just a French dish or a German dish. It's a lot of combinations of flavors and we make them very bold flavors. And so guests come back for the quality of food that they're getting because it's like nothing else you'll find in Granbury. We have a lot of casual dining, but the fine dining scene is still a little kind of in the newborn stages. And so, there's always something new to find.
Your busiest time is it going to be lunch or a little supper?
So people are still discovering that we have lunch. That is a newer thing. We didn't initially have lunch and it has been growing and I'm very excited because it's a more casual price point, casual experience. We have a lobster roll, we have a Vietnamese pork belly banh mi sandwich, we have house-made smoked au jus sandwich. So there's a little bit of something for everybody, but we've only been doing that for a little over a year. So dinner is what we have a lot more regulars coming in for that. Yeah.
Well, lunch is something that just personally I eat a lot more because I have a family and several kids. So a lot of times going into a restaurant is just a lot of work.
Of course, I can understand.
So we do a lot of lunches. Specifically with work, I have lunches that I will do, with business partners.
Absolutely.
If someone's coming here for the first time, the menu changes every quarter, so it might be a bad question, but I thought about this beforehand, so I'll ask it anyway. If someone's coming here for the first time, what would you recommend they try, say, in the next 2 months?
So one thing, at lunch we serve it as an appetizer, but at dinner every table gets it as part of their meal. We give them whipped goat cheese with Aleppo honey as a kind of our version of bread and butter. And it's the one thing on the dinner menu that's consistent because a lot of memories are sunken in sensory call. And so you sit down, you come in, the decor changes because they usually change the art in here. You may have a different glass of wine than you did, but you sit down and you have that whipped goat cheese on Aleppo honey with the crackers that we make in-house. And then you remember that you had a really good time here. And so that's building the foundation for lots of future wonderful experiences, which we're trying to build with our guests. And then after that, it's whatever you feel like that day, whether you feel like seafood or a bison steak.
Awesome. Well, that's one of the things I have noticed is sometimes smells or tastes do bring back memories in ways that nothing else can. And it is a unique experience.
That's why we make a really big effort to not have it smell like cleaner when you come in here. And I know a lot of restaurants, not that they want it to smell like cleaner, but oftentimes because they get busy that's kind of overlooked. So we want to make sure that when you first come in, you get the smells and then so you're already caught up in that and then you see it and you're like, wow, that looks beautiful. And then you eat it and it's, that memory is ingrained.
So what about the name Anise?
Anise.
There's always significance in a name.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? What was it?
So there's actually 2 reasons for it. One is in ancient Chinese culture, which I've read a lot about and very interested in ancient cultures, but they focus a lot on the benefits of food towards your well-being, and star anise is supposed to provide spiritual protection. I thought everybody can use a little bit more of that these days. And then the second reason is I am a black licorice person. I'm a 12 on the scale of 0 to 10. And so most people are not. Most people are on the other end at about a 0.5. And so it's a reminder that everything in moderation.
Okay, so you own a restaurant. You obviously have been working hard for the last 4 years, what are some things you do outside of work, things you're passionate about, things you enjoy?
Well, I'm a single mom, and so when I'm not here, I'm with my daughter, and right now her interest is soccer. And so we're at soccer practice or we're at soccer games, and if there's any time outside of that, we usually go hiking. We go down to Glen Rose and go to the Dinosaur State Park. She really loves hiking and climbing on the rocks down there, so yeah.
Yeah, so we have, I think Granbury in general is a great place to raise children.
It is. And there's so many things, outdoor activities that I know in the summer it's, we get a little bit of the heat, but within driving distance of here, because sometimes we'll go up to Mineral Wells State Park and there's lots of great things up there, and even other little towns in the area that if you wanted to just go on a day trip to.
I think, there's always stuff to do.
Yeah.
And even just going and walking on the square is still such a pleasant place because you can walk down to the beach.
And there's lots of cool history too.
Yeah. I think one of the cool things that I found out about when I started doing some of these videos was that the entire square is actually annexed as a part of the historic district, and that's rare.
Which means that they don't have to follow city regulations or anything. Because I've asked, well, wait, how come you told me that I can't do that with my sign, but and they're like, ooh, they're part of HGMA, they're part of, and so they get to make their own rules. And I was like,
Bummer.
yeah.
So wrapping things up, obviously I'm gonna let everybody know where they can find you. What are some things that you would like for your listeners to know? Maybe you have some locals, maybe out-of-towners.
Absolutely.
So information about you, the business, or anything you would like for them to know if they decide to come here.
So we have two things. One that I'm very proud of is that we hire students from the high school. So staffing in this economy is challenging. There's lots of people without jobs, but there's also a lot of jobs, and it's finding the right match. And in a culinary scene where there's not a lot of high-end restaurants, but there's students that want to learn, I've decided that I partner with the high school and their career program, give these students who are interested in the culinary field the opportunity to work at somewhere other than maybe like a fast food restaurant. And they are very diligent and they're so happy to learn. So that's been a really great opportunity for us to kind of give back to the community in a sense. And then we try to keep everything fun and relevant here. And so we're constantly doing partnerships with other businesses in the community. So we do wine pairing dinners. We have a murder mystery dinner series that one of the local ladies who does a historical tour, she puts on for us. So yeah, there's always something fun going on.
Quick question for you. I just thought of this. So when you're partnering with some of these students that come in, are they doing some sort of study where they're planning to pursue that in the future? What would you recommend if someone wanted to follow that path? Are there specific studies, or is it kind of?
So I think there's two ways of going about a culinary career. I started down one path, kicked it, and went the other direction. Yeah. I don't think either path is better than the other. I think it's dependent on the individual. I actually went into microbiology first, so I had a degree. I went back to culinary school and said, this isn't a good fit for me. I already have a degree. I don't need to be back in school for this. I already have a strong foundation. And so then I went and did the OJT route. Found a really great chef to study under. Yep. I think either route is good depending on where you're at. If it's a kid coming straight out of high school and they want to, learn the theory about how many pounds of chicken bones need to go to how much carrots and onions and celery in a chicken stock, go to culinary school. They have some really great programs that'll teach you all that. But if you can, find a really great chef who's willing to take the time and be patient and invest in you, that is an equally good route. Absolutely. It's one of the few industries that still allows you almost like an apprenticeship. And I think that if you can find a really great chef, that it's worth the investment in that as well.
Well, I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in.
And anyone reaches out to you, we'll have all information, phone number, address, so that people can see where it's at. And listeners, you enjoyed this, and come and check it out. Great food here.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.